Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening to everyone. Dear Dhamma friends. Today also we are going to talk about some facts about the spiritual path. So we have been talking about some facts about this spiritual path during several Dhamma sermons. Still we are in the segment about the concentration. Actually we are talking about the prerequisites for the concentration, for developing the concentration. So we know what is now. We have several times we have discussed, or we have emphasized what is the importance of the concentration for the spiritual path. In order to achieve the higher levels of this path, what kind of a concentration we need? There are different types of concentrations. Someone can develop this concentration to a absorption level. It is the highest level you can develop in this concentration segment, or by developing the tranquility you can achieve the jhanas. We call the jhana concentration or the absorption concentration. That is the higher levels of this concentration. Or you can achieve not the absorption levels but the excess concentration levels. We call the upachara samadhi. Why we call it is upachara samadhi? It is in the vicinity, or it is close, very close for the appana samadhi or the jhana samadhi or the absorption concentration. So someone can develop the tranquility and achieve this excess concentration. We call the upachara samadhi. Or someone can not even the jhana concentration, or not even the upachara or the excess concentration. Someone can develop the tranquility to some extent and achieve some kind of some sort of concentration in the mind. He has not suppressed these hindrances completely, like in the upachara samadhi and the jhana samadhi, but he is having some level of concentration. He has suppressed to some extent these hindrances. So why we need these kind of levels of the concentrations? In order to have a suitable mind to develop the vipassana. We know during the vipassana we are thinking about, we are analyzing the sankhara. In order to analyze the sankhara, we have to give the attention, we have to realize, we have to observe these objects or the sankharas in different aspects. In order to do that, we have to spend much time with the object. So that's why we need the concentration. Without having a proper or the suitable mind which is having some level of concentration, you cannot develop, or you cannot do the vipassana in a very effective and efficient way. This is why we need this concentration. Why we need the vipassana? In order to achieve the higher levels of insight knowledges, we call the vipassana jnana, and the end is the achievements of the noble paths. We call the magga jnana. So that is the way how you can eradicate these defilements completely. Otherwise you cannot eradicate or completely eliminate these defilements from your mind and to become arahant. So that is why we need vipassana. In order to develop the vipassana, we need concentration, because we have to have a proper or suitable mind to do this vipassana. That is why we were talking about this concentration during several Dhamma sermons. Now actually we are in the prerequisites for this concentration. We have not come to the levels of the concentrations yet, but we are talking about the prerequisites for this concentration. At the beginning, we were talking about the about the virtue or the morality. That is like a must. What we have to do, what we have to follow in order to develop the higher levels of the spiritual path. Without having a proper or the like pure virtue, pure morality, you cannot develop, you cannot think about the higher levels. Even the concentration or the vipassana or the insight knowledges or the paths and the fruitions, you cannot think about them without having a very strong foundation with the virtue. So we talked about these things. And also we talked about what we have to follow to develop the sila or the virtue. We have to avoid, we have to refrain from the bad deeds, the unwholesome actions by our body, word or the mind. So we talked about these things. Then not only refrain from the bad deeds, we have to engage, we have to do some wholesome deeds like dana, bhavana, veyyavacca, apachayana. Those are called the 10 wholesome deeds. We call the dasa punya kirya. So we talked about these things. Now we are in the stage to talk about the concentration. Now we have been talking about the prerequisites for this concentration. So last time we talked about this briefly about the prerequisites of the concentration with regards to the hindrances. We call the nīvaraṇa. In Pali, in the commentaries, we can see the hindrances, nīvaraṇa. Nīvaraṇanti āvarana. Āvarana means the cover. What the nīvaranas cover? All the wholesome deeds and to having the concentrations, the higher vipassana knowledges, insight knowledges, and the paths and the fruitions. The nīvaraṇa cover all these good results. That is why we call that nīvaraṇa. That means they cover all these wholesome deeds and the results of this spiritual path. So these hindrances we discussed 5 categories. They are the kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, sensual desire, and the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, we call the ill will or the hatred. And the third one is the tīna middha nīvaraṇa, the sloth and torpor. The fourth one is the uddacca kukkucca nīvaraṇa, that is called the restlessness and the worry. And the fifth one is the vicikicca, that is the doubt. These are the nīvaraṇas or the hindrances which cover our higher levels of the spiritual path or the results what we can gain by developing the spiritual path. So we have given a brief introduction about the 5 hindrances generally, and later we talked about specifically about the kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, the sensual desire. So during that Dhamma sermon, we talked about the causes for the kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, what is kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, and what are the reasons to arise, and what is the behavior of this kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, and how we can eliminate, what are the steps we can follow to suppress or completely eliminate this kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa. So then we have to talk about today about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is the second hindrance about the concentration. Because in order to achieve the concentration, we have to eliminate, we have to at least suppress for a longer period these 5 hindrances. Otherwise, you cannot achieve with the hindrances, with these 5 hindrances, that is kāmacchanda, Byāpāda, tīna middha, uddacca kukkucca and vicikicca. Having these 5 hindrances, you cannot think about the concentration, because the concentration is the suppressing these hindrances, because they are like the obstacles, they are obstructing to have or to achieve the concentrations and the vipassana knowledges and the ultimately the paths, noble paths. So that's why we have to talk about these things. Without having a proper understanding about the hindrances, how we can recognize them, how we can realize them, when they arise in our mind. Without having a proper understanding about them, how we can eliminate, how we can suppress them from our mind. So that is why we have to have a proper understanding, a good understanding about these hindrances. That is why we want to talk about these hindrances specifically, separately, one by one. Then we know what is this hindrance, what are the specific causes to arise this kind of a hindrance, and what is when it arises in our mind, what is the behavior of that specific hindrance. And if you want to eliminate, if you want to suppress it for a longer period, or if you want to eliminate it completely from your mind, what steps you have to follow, what are the things you can do in order to eliminate or refrain from these hindrances. That is why the understanding is needed. That is why we have specifically talked about that sensual desire, or the kamacchanda nīvaraṇa, during the last sermon. Today, within this sermon, I'm expecting to discuss about the next hindrance, the second hindrance, the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, or we call the ill will or the hatred. So these are the topics what we are going to discuss during this sermon about the ill will or the hatred. The first topic is what is ill will, or what is Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and what is the behavior of that Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and what are the causes to arise that Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa in our mind. Sometimes we don't have that Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, sometimes we have. When it arises, it will not be there for every time, for the whole day, it will not be there. Sometimes it arises and it vanishes automatically. But we have to think about, we have to realize what are the causes to arise this specific Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and the simile or a metaphor with regards to the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and how we should identify when it arises, when it emerges in our mind, and how we can suppress Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and what are the things we can do, what are the steps we have to follow in order to eradicate or suppress this Vyāpāda hindrance. How the relief from the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa helps to develop the concentration. These are the topics I am going to discuss within this sermon. The first topic is what is the ill will, what is the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. So we will go to that section. There is I have given a Pali text from the commentary actually. Vyāpajjati imina chittaṃ pūtikumma sādayo viya purima pakating vijahati vyāpāda. That is, I'm not going to detail in the Pali, but we can refer the translation or the English meaning. When this ill will emerged in our mind, when we have a hatred feeling, hatred condition in our mind, usually our mind is calm and quiet. It will not have the defilements, hindrances. We call the bhavanga citta. Usually when we are in a normal condition, we don't have these hindrances. When this ill will hindrance or the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa arises or the emerges in our mind, the mind will give up this natural condition or the normal condition, which is calmness and the quietness, and it will give up that original state, and it will become a disgusting state, like a food which is rotten, then that food will have a disgusting smell. It stinks, it will have a bad smell, and it will have a bad appearance. Sometimes the flies come and it will be covered with the flies because it is rotten. Then when a food is rotten, everyone will, anyone will not accept that. Likewise, this is a simile what is given when Vyāpāda arises in our mind, when there is ill will, hindrance in our mind. That is like something rotted, something which is rotten. This is the simile, and that is why it is connected here, that when you have the ill will or the hatred feeling in your mind, the others will like reject you. Others will not accept you as a friend. Even your closest ones will not accept you if you are in that hatred condition or the ill will, or if you are with the ill will hindrance. If you are in anger, no one will try to come to your vicinity. They will try to go away from you. If you are blaming them, if you are using some harsh words, then no one will try to be friendly with you. That is why there is a simile which is given as something disgusting, which is like a food, something is rotten. So, and it will pollute your own mind. First, you will have that bad feeling, bad condition in your mind. That means you will pollute your mind first. Then, with that hatred feeling or with that hatred condition or with that ill will hindrance, you will pollute the other's mind as well. Let's say when you have anger, you are like burning inside. You are polluting your like natural conditions, natural calmness or the quietness in your mind. No longer you have that calmness in your mind. Now your mind is polluted by the anger or the hatred. Then you are not be with that condition if you are not in a control position. Then you try to utter some bad words, harsh words, and you try to hit someone. Then the others also get anger. When you tell something harsh, when you tell something rough words, which is not suitable for the others, then they will also get anger. Then they will have the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa as well. But the initiator is you, because you had that anger feeling, that angriness, or this ill will hindrance. Then first you have polluted your mind, then you polluted the other's mind as well. That is why it is mentioned, you will pollute the mind of himself and the others as well, who is nearby. That is, when you are in an angry mode, then the others also get angry. The others also will get polluted, their minds. That is what is mentioned there. Byāpāda is a synonym for the koda or the anger. So even you mention as a koda, if even you mention as the Byāpāda, it is same. Angry is the same ill will or the hatred feeling. That is given as the definition of this Byāpāda. Then it is, when it comes to a nīvaraṇa state, we call the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So you have to understand how bad this Byāpāda, because when you have kāmacchanda, when you have sensual desire, you have that like eagerness, or you want to achieve something, you want to possess something, because you have some attachment towards something. Then your mind is polluted anyway with the lobha, with the attachment towards that thing. It can be a covetousness as well, abhijja. But you are not like trying to pollute the other's mind, because you are having that attachment towards that thing. You have that feeling to possess that one, but you are not giving some bad influences to the others. When you have tīna middha, when you have laziness, when you have that feeling with you, usually you will act like a lazy person. But you will not influence the others completely. But not like them, not like the other hindrances. This Byāpāda, when you have the anger, you will give up your natural calmness or the quietness in your mind. That is the first advantage for you. Then, not only that, you share this anger with the others. You influence the others to have the angry feelings, or to emerge the ill will hindrance in the others as well. This is very bad. So we have to understand, first you pollute your mind and then you influence the others, or you will be a cause for the others to emerge the ill will, hindrance, or the angriness in the others as well. So that is the definition which is given here. Then we are going to some other definitions of the words which is related to this ill will or the hatred. In English we call the feelings of hostility, resentment, hatred and bitterness. We can use these words as a synonyms for this Byāpāda, nīvaraṇa, or the ill will or the hatred. Byāpāda prevents us from seeing our personal and spiritual potential and those of the others. When you have Byāpāda, when you have that angry feeling, when you are in the angry mode, you cannot see your true potential. You think that is when you are thinking something with angry, you think it is the most suitable thing. When you want to hit someone, you think it is the most suitable thing I should do now. Then you hit that person. When you want to, when you are in the angry mode, sometimes you want to utter some harsh words, some bad words to the others. You think it is the most suitable thing I should do for this condition. That is why you don't know the true potential of yours, because you think with the angry. That is why that it will cover to see our true potential, and sometimes you don't see the true potential of the others. When you are in angry mode, the people who are close by, who are close to you, sometimes you tend to restrict their some potencies. Then because you are in the angry mode, this is very bad, and that is the behavior, that is the true natural behavior of the angry. And the Byāpāda deludes us into believing that we are replete with all the best qualities we desire, because you have that potency, or you have that potential. Your spiritual potential is higher. If you if you try to achieve them in a very wise way, in a very with very good encouragement, then you can achieve them. But when you have that angry feeling, you think you are a loser. Sometimes you will do bad things because you have that feeling, because you think others are better than me, then others are doing well than me. Then you will get that angry feeling, because you feel that you are as a loser. That is why you cannot focus on your true potential. If you don't have the angry, you can think about you in very wise way. We call the yoniso manasikara. So if you can see your true potential, then you can do something in a very good way, with a very good encouragement, in a very effortful way. So otherwise, if you are in angry mode, you cannot recognize, you cannot realize your own true potential, or you cannot see the potential of the others. Then you try to do something bad because of that feeling. An angry person thinks he is right, or he is unable to rise above himself. That is what I have described. So when someone is having the anger, when he is angry with someone or something, then he will not realize the true potential about him. Then he thinks, I cannot rise from this condition. That is why he thinks whatever he does, he thinks it is the most suitable thing. That is the right thing I should do now. But he is doing bad deeds. Always when you are angry, you are taking the bad decisions. You are doing some bad actions by your body. You are uttering some bad or harsh words which is not suitable. Then when you eliminate, or when you suppress the angry, then you will think, why I have done those kind of things. Sometimes you regret about the things what you have done by your body, what you have uttered by your speech, then you regret. But at the same position, at that same condition, when you were with the angry or the anger, you think it was the most suitable thing. But afterwards, then when you refrain from the anger, then you think, okay, I have done something wrong. I should not have done that thing. I should not have uttered those words. It was bad. But I have done that thing because of my anger. But now it's too late. You have done that. That is why the person thinks he is right always when he is in the anger mode. When he is with the anger, when he is angry, he thinks always that he is doing the right thing and the others are doing the wrong things. That's why the angry will get more powerful. Then this is some facts how this ill will emerge in our mind. How a person thinks, how this angry comes to someone's mind. These are when someone thinks this vexatious Byāpāda arises all the thought. So when someone is thinking, the second person or another person, he did something bad to me, he did something wrong to me. So then he get the hatred feeling, he get the angry. Then when he is thinking, oh, still he is doing something bad to me, still he is doing something wrong to me. So then if someone is think like that, then that person will get angry towards that second person. And someone is thinking he has not something bad or he is not doing something bad, but he suspect, he thinks, he expect that person will do something bad or he is going to do something bad to me, then he will get angry towards that second person. And in the same way, when someone is thinking, someone is trying to, or someone has done something wrong to the loved ones, to the friends who are liked by that person, then he will get angry because he know that the second person did something wrong to my loved ones, to my friends, to my relatives, to my children or wife, parents. So likewise, he thinks he did something wrong to my loved ones, so he get the angry, he get that ill will or the hatred feeling. Then likewise, when someone is doing something wrong to the loved ones or the relatives, then he also get the angry feeling. And someone is thinking the second person has not done anything bad to the loved one, and he is not doing something bad, but he expect or he realized something is going to happen. That person is trying to do something bad for my relatives or the friends or the loved ones. Then he will get the bad or the angry feeling towards that second person. Likewise, when someone is doing something good for the enemies who are disliked by me, when someone is thinking like in that way, then that person will get angry feeling towards that second person, because he is helping my enemies. They are my enemies, they are doing bad to me. This person is helping them. This person is doing some favors for them. Then that person will get angry because he is helping my enemies. He is getting the hatred feeling. Next one is when someone is doing something good to the enemies or the person who is disliked by that person, then this person will get angry towards the second person. Then he suspect he is going to do something good. He will do something better. He will do something good for the enemies. Then he will get the angry feeling, or this ill will hindrance will emerge in his mind. These are related to the people or the other person. The 10th one is vexation arises without any ground. Like when you hit your foot in a stone or a table or something, you get angry with that chair. There is no person, but you get angry feeling with that chair, and you will try to break them, you will hit back to that chair. When there is rain, when you want to go some like a trip or somewhere, sometimes it's a official journey, which is very important, the rain comes, then you will get angry towards that rain. There is no person, but you will get that angry feeling or the hatred mind towards that rain. There is no any ground, because to have that angry, earlier he was get that angry feeling or the hatred mind towards a second person, because he is doing something bad, or he is doing something bad to me, he is doing something bad to my loved ones, or he is doing something good to the enemies. But here there is no any person. The raining is a natural thing. If you are not conscious enough, you will have those kind of accidents. You will hit your foot with the chair or table or a stone. There is no any ground to emerge that ill will or the hatred mind within yourself towards that stone or the chair or towards the rain. That is, we call the vexation arises without any ground. We call the atthana. That is, there is no ground, there is no actual reason, but you are making your mind hatred. That is not. That is the very bad condition, very bad reason to arise, to emerge the hatred or the angry within yourself. These are the 10 causes. These are the 10 like situations when someone will have that hatred feeling or the hatred mind, or this ill will hindrance. So these are the 10 situations someone can like deal, or someone will be a suitable person to be with the hatred mind. But we have to eliminate, because even though he has done something wrong to me, even he has done something wrong to my loved ones, even he has done something, he had done something good to my enemies, or something without any ground, we should not allow the anger to enter to our mind. We should not allow this ill will hindrance to emerge in our mind. So then we are going to talk about these are the some like words given in the Pali about this Byāpāda, like yo eva rupo chittassa aghato patighato patighang pativirodho kopo pakopo sankopo doso padoso. These are the several words which we can use as synonyms for the Byāpāda. That is given ayang, the last idang uchchati Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. These all the words representing the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, or the ill will hindrance or the hatred mind. So you can use, they have different meanings, but all these words are representing the same Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. These all conditions will arise in our mind with these 10 situations. When someone is dealing with these situations unwisely, without the wisdom, we call the ayoniso manasikara. Because these are natural things. This will happen. We have to experience these things. We have to face these things. But we should not allow the anger to be arisen within our mind because of this situation. So because of these situation, because of these 10 situations, someone will have these kind of aghat, patighat, and patigha, pativirodha, kopa. This is called the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So you can use any of these synonyms to represent the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then we are going to talk about something about this is by way of the mind's vexation. These are the English names for these Pali words: the vexation, resentment, aversion, aggression, wrath, fuming, hate. These words are given like we have discussed the agata, patigata, kopa, pativirodha, patigha. So these words are the translated words in the English for those Pali words, which is given as the synonyms for the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then the second topic, we are going to talk about the behavior. When this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa emerges within our mind, when it arises, how we can feel them, how we can understand them, what is the behavior within our mind, what this Byāpāda will do to our mind, how we are going to do, how we are going to act when we are with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So Byāpāda nīvaraṇa is feeling of hostility, resentment, hatred and bitterness. That is the basic definition we can identify this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. This hindrance is activated when our senses come into contact with the sense objects which we don't like. We have discussed about the Kāmacchanda nīvaraṇa, sensual desires. Same definition, a little bit different. That is, when we come to contact with our senses or the faculties with the external objects which we like. When we like, when we have attachment. So when we have those kind of feelings, liking, then we have this sensual desire. That sensual desire or the attachment will arise within your mind because you like these objects. Here, the opposite way. When you deal with these external objects like the rupas or the visual objects or the audible objects, some smells, some tastes, some tangible objects, some feelings. When these objects come to our mind through these sense faculties, but you don't like them, then not the sensual desire, but the ill will arises within your mind because you don't like these objects. That is the reason, that is the main cause to emerge these ill will hindrance within your mind. Every time we point our concentration at our practice, this hindrance may pop up and distract us. Because sometimes when you try to develop the tranquility, try to develop the concentration, this hindrance, the other hindrances as well, but we are talking about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. This Byāpāda hindrance or the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will pop up and will come to the emerging state, and it will like to suppress our concentration. It will try to distract us. It will try to obstruct us to have the higher levels of the concentration, because sometimes it will naturally comes to our mind some memories which you don't like. Something has happened in the past which you don't like. When you realize, when you remind that specific situation or someone has done something wrong to you, when you recall those memories, then the patiga or this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa come to your mind, and it will obstruct the meditative process, or it will distract you to be with that same object to develop the tranquility. That is the nature, that is the behavior of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is why we have to suppress. That is why we try to eliminate this nīvaraṇa in order to achieve the concentration levels, or in order to achieve the higher insight knowledges. How Buddha admonished to get rid of this ill will? The Pali sentence is there, so we can go to the translation or the meaning of that Pali sentence. Abandoning ill will and anger, he dwells with a mind free of ill will, sympathetic towards the welfare of the other all living beings. He cleanses his mind of ill will and anger. This is what is the admonishment given by the Buddha. So someone should try to eradicate, try to suppress this Vyāpāda and try to dwell without this Vyāpāda and with the pure mind. That is, without the this angry feeling or the ill will or the hatred hindrance. And he should he should spread the metta or the sympathetic towards the other living beings without any limitation. Even he is a friend, even he is an enemy, he was in the the neutral state. We should spread that metta, that feeling of the welfare, feeling of the sympathetic towards that person. Not only eliminate the Vyāpāda, but you have to develop, you have to spread that metta towards the others as well. Then he cleanses his mind of ill will and anger. If someone is trying to eliminate or suppress this ill will from his mind, he tries to refrain from the ill will hindrance. And also at the same moment, at the same time, he tries to develop, he tries to spread that loving kindness towards the others. That person, with the time, with the developments, he will suppress this. He will have that capability to dwell, to live, to act without that anger or the ill will hindrance. That is what is the admonishment given by the Buddha. Ill will can arise either internally or the externally towards the others. The first one is internally. Sometimes when you have some sicknesses, when you have something like lazinesses, when you have some disqualities within you, sometimes when you recall about these things, when you contemplate about this, you will have anger towards yourself. When you are not skillful enough for some specific task, if you try to study, but it is very difficult for you. When you try to develop the concentration, but it is very difficult for you, and some bad disorders in your body, sometimes digesting maybe, or something you have some diseases or the sicknesses you have, then you have those hatred feeling towards you. That is the ill will which arises within yourself towards yourself. And the second part is the external, towards the external persons or the objects. That is, your mind will be thinking about the external bad things. Sometimes it may be person or who has done something wrong to you, and who is doing something wrong to you, who is doing something bad to your loved ones, or who is going to do something bad to you or your loved ones, and something who is helping your enemies. In any case, you will get that angry feeling towards the others. That is the external part. So you are getting anger, the ill will, hindrance will arise within your mind towards the others, toward the external parties. Sometimes it can be a external object, like when you want to go somewhere but the rain comes, the heavy rain comes, then you will get the bad or the hatred feeling towards the rain. When you hit your finger to somewhere, then you will get the pain, and you will get the that hatred feeling towards that external object. Or it can be an object or a person, but you are getting that ill will, hindrance will emerge yourself towards the external thing. Sometimes this ill will has some categories. Something is very obvious. That is, we call the olarika. Very rough. You can identify when you get angry feeling towards you, towards someone, or towards you. Then you can identify, oh, I am with the angry, because that anger comes to me. I am with the ill will or the hatred mind. That is very obvious. Even for you, even the others can identify, oh, that person is with the angry feeling, or he is doing something wrong. He can do something wrong because of that angry mind. So it is very obvious. You can clearly identify your anger. But sometimes it is coming in a very you cannot even identify that angry feeling, but still it is the ill will hindrance. What is that? Sometimes, let's take a person tries to go to a place, a very calm and quiet place, and he tries to develop the concentration. But he is not able to develop the concentration. He will have that, he is frightened. He has that, he will be scared with some voices which is in the jungle, because he is in a very calm and quiet place. No one is there close by. No one is in the vicinity to help them, because it's a separate place, and he tries to develop the concentration. But with the voices, and then some scary feelings will arise, and he will be frightened from the loneliness. These are still the ill will hindrance. But we cannot identify. Someone will not think this is the ill will hindrance which will obstruct, which will distract you from the concentration. But still it is ill will hindrance. But it is very, what you call the sukuma. It is very difficult to identify as the previous angry. The angry is, you can obvious. It is, you can clearly identify, this is angry, this is the ill will hindrance. If I am with this angriness, I cannot develop the concentration. Then you can suppress, or you can refrain from that angry feeling. But this, the scary feeling, sometimes you will feel loneliness. Sometimes when you try to develop the concentration, but you are not able to develop into higher levels. Then you get something bad feelings towards your teacher. Get some bad feelings or the angry feelings towards the practice, or the place, or the other friends who is nearby. This is also ill will hindrance. This is a Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. But you will not think like that. You will think it is a usual feeling. It will not distract me. It will not obstruct me to develop the concentration. But still, it is a same Byāpāda nīvaraṇa within your mind, and it will definitely obstruct your concentration. You will be distracted from the concentration. You have to identify whether it is very obvious. Whether it is not very obvious, it is very difficult to find as a ill will hindrance. Still, they will obstruct the concentration. Anyway, you have to eliminate or suppress any kind of ill will hindrance in order to achieve the higher levels of the concentration. That is why we have to learn about them. Sometimes someone will consider that angry is the only ill will hindrance which will obstruct the concentration. No, not only that. Angry is an obvious thing, but there are some other things as well. Sometimes he will have the loneliness. Sometimes he is having some scary feelings. Sometimes he is having some bad feelings towards the teachers, towards the friends, towards the practice, and towards the places. When someone is trying to develop the concentration, he is not getting very good food, or he is having some sicknesses. Still, he will get upset about the food because he is expecting something good. But usually he is getting very bad, not very good food. Then he is getting some upset feelings, or the angry feelings towards not the obvious angry, but he is disliking this food, or he get upset with the own sicknesses. These are also ill will hindrance which will obstruct your concentration or the spiritual path, spiritual practice. You have to identify. That's why we are discussing, we are emphasizing about this ill will hindrance. Then you have to identify whatever the condition of this ill will hindrance, it is still a hindrance. It will cover your future results in this spiritual practice. Then anyway, whether it is an obvious one like angry, whether it is not obvious one, whether it is very difficult to identify as a hindrance, it can be a scary feeling, it can be a loneliness, it can be a disliking towards the teachers or the friends or the practice or the food or the weather or the sicknesses of your own sicknesses. Then still these all conditions are the levels different levels of the ill will hindrance or the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You have to identify them and you have to try to suppress all of the categories, all of the levels of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then we are going to talk about the third topic. What are the causes? What are the causes to arise this Byāpāda? The Pali sentence is there. When we go to the meaning, but when we go to the translation, there are objects causing aversion. Atti bhikkave patigha nimitthaṃ. My dear disciples, there is a object called the patigha nimitta. What is this patigha nimitta? There are objects causing aversion, patigha nimitta. Frequently giving unwise attention. You are contemplating about this patigha nimitta, which is the cause for the aversion or the angriness. About this patigha nimitta, you are contemplating, you are thinking about that. You are giving the attention to that patigha nimitta without the wisdom. You are attending, you are contemplating about that cause for the aversion, we call the patigha nimitta, without the wisdom. Then you are contemplating again and again. Then this is the nourishment, or this is the main cause, main reason for the arising of ill will that has not arisen. And this is the nourishment for the increase. When you have that small level, like a very low level of angry feeling or the ill will hindrance, this, if you are giving attention, if you are contemplating about this patigha nimitta unwisely, that lower level condition of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, it will increase and strengthening of ill will that has already arisen. Now you are with the ill will hindrance, but you are doing something wrong. What is the wrong thing? You are giving the attention unwisely to that patigha nimitta. You are contemplating about that patigha nimitta, which is the cause for the aversion, unwisely. Then the new Byāpāda will arise in your mind, and the existing Byāpāda will come to a very powerful stage. It will develop. Then sometimes you cannot control of that. Sometimes you will tend to do something bad by your body or by your word, or you try to do something bad feelings towards the other person. This is the cause, the main cause to increase and strengthening, come to a very powerful stage of that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. What is this cause for the aversion? The objects causing aversion, we call the patigha nimitta. Patigha nimitta means the anitta nimitta, that is object we don't like, object we dislike. That is the patigha nimitta. In the commentary it is clearly mentioned what is this patigha nimitta. It is the anitta nimitta, which we don't like. Something, let's say a person which we dislike. We don't like to think about that person. But again and again you are thinking about that person in the bad way, without having the wisdom. Unwisely, you are attending to contemplate about that person or your enemy or the disliking person without the wisdom. Then that new Byāpāda will tend to emerge within your mind. Then how you should contemplate about that person? Every person have bad qualities and the good qualities. If you are doing this contemplating wisely, you should not think about the bad qualities of that person. You should think about the good qualities of that person wisely. That is called the wisely paying the attention, or you are contemplating wisely with the wisdom towards that person or about that person. Then the new angry feelings towards that person will not emerge within your mind. In the other way, someone is trying to think about the bad qualities of that particular person. Then that person, if he is doing this bad thing again and again, if he is paying attention to the bad qualities of that second person, then new Byāpāda, new ill will or the hatred feelings will emerge within your mind. And if he is having some bad feelings toward that person, then they will come to a very strong, powerful state, and they will develop. They will come to a very strong position you cannot control. That is the unwise attention towards that person. This is the main reason for emerging of the Byāpāda or the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So let's take another example. If you have a bad memory, if you have a bad experience, when you think about that bad experience, when you are contemplating, when you are recalling that bad or the bad experience, then you will have the new Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, or the hatred feeling towards that memory. If someone has done something wrong, if something bad has happened, you couldn't do something, you couldn't achieve something you wanted, or you had some bad experiences with some other people. So then when you recall that thing, that is a cause for the aversion. We call the patigha nimitta. It is not a good feeling for you. Then if someone is contemplating without the wisdom about that bad memory, then this will be a cause to emerge new Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, or the ill will hindrance. You will get some upset feelings. You will get some bad feelings towards that. You will get some hatred mind towards that bad or the bad experience or the bad memory. This is you should not do, because if you want to suppress, or if you are trying to eliminate this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, this is the main or the very powerful cause to emerge for the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then another description is there, the hindrance, blinker and screw up our mind, so that we unwisely attend. We call the ayoniso manasikaroti. You are attending unwisely, or we are contemplating without the wisdom. Then to our sense experiences, unwise attention is based on ignorance. Ignorance is the avijja as the root condition for suffering, which is a lack of understanding the reality. When you talk about the previous examples we have taken, when you think about your enemy or a person you dislike, when you are thinking about the bad qualities only about him, that is because of the avijja. Because you are thinking there is a person, there is a bad qualities in that person. So he has done something wrong to me, or he is going to do something wrong to me. In these ways you are thinking because of the avijja, ignorance. That is the actual root cause to this ayoniso manasikara. Because you are paying attention unwisely towards that patigha nimitta, which is the cause for the aversion, because of the root cause or the root condition, which is the avijja. Avijja is the main or the root condition or the root cause to emerge this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is why avijja is a cause into all the hindrances to emerge. This is the root cause. Because of this avijja, the Byāpāda is arising. But avijja can be suppressed by the wisdom. When there is no wisdom, the avijja come to the play. When you are paying the attention with the wisdom, then there is no chance for the avijja. Because when you have the wisdom, like you have light up something, the darkness will be vanished. Likewise, when you are allowing the wisdom to play, when you are allowing wisdom to come and do something, acts in your mind, then the avijja will be vanished. It can be temporarily, but at that moment the avijja will not be there. It can be avijja can be as a latent tendency. But the thing is that avijja come to the pariyuttana, the emerging state. But when you are allowing wisdom, when you are giving the permission, when you are developing the wisdom, when you are doing something, then the avijja will not be a root cause to have the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then you are not paying the attention to the bad qualities of that person. With the wisdom, you trying to focus about the good qualities of that person. About the second example, when we talk about the bad experience or the bad memory you had in the past, when you have that wisdom, you contemplate about that bad experience or the bad memory with the wisdom, and you will not have that bad feeling or the angry feelings or the upset towards that previous or the past experience which is bad, which you dislike. Because you are not allowing avijja come to play, and you are just allowing the wisdom. You are paying attention wisely. You are contemplating about that memory wisely. That is we call yoniso manasikara or yoniso manasikaroti. You are paying attention wisely. Then you can suppress. You are not allowing Byāpāda nīvaraṇa to arise within your mind. That is the thing which is discussed or the emphasized here. This hindrance is a defilement. The Byāpāda nīvaraṇa is a defilement that limits our vision. It limits our vision. You cannot see the reality. You cannot see the real conditions outside because of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. When you are in an angry state, angry mode, when you are with the angry, when you have that lonely feeling, when you are frightened from something, when you have some scary feelings, or when you are like dealing with dislike person or dislike things, you cannot understand the reality outside. You cannot because your vision is covered by this hindrance. It distracts us from focusing our minds into clear stillness, because we are developing the tranquility to develop the concentration in your mind. But time to time, if this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa is emerging within our mind, it will distract us. Because time to time, when you are getting some angry feelings, when you have hatred minds, time to time, then it will be obstruct and it will distract. It will deviate your spiritual path, because you are trying to develop the stillness in your mind. You are trying to develop the concentration or the tranquility within your mind. But angry feeling comes to your mind, it will distract you. Angry feeling is obstructing to have the levels of the concentration. That is given here. This hindrance prevent our minds from directly knowing the true nature of our being. It is the reality or the real condition outside. You cannot identify because of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. And when you, because when you try to do the vipassana, when you try to realize what is inside us, what is the true nature of us, what are the things inside my body, what are the things inside my mind, then even these things he cannot realize, because he is in a bad condition. He is with the anger. This Byāpāda nīvaraṇa covers everything. You cannot develop the concentration because of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You cannot develop the inside knowledges or vipassana meditation because of Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. It is a very bad obstruction for the tranquility as well as for the insight meditation. As a result of distractions, we find fault with our practice. Sometimes you get angry feelings towards the practice because you are trying to do something effortfully, but you are not getting the results. So you get upset with that experience because you are not getting results. Then you are like your path will be distracted because you get upset with the practice because of the less results or the non-results. Or teacher. When someone is teaching you how to do the meditation, how to develop the tranquilities, or how to and he will be a teacher to teach some Dhamma facts. But when you have that angry feeling within your mind, sometimes you will get angry towards the teachers as well, and even with the other colleagues as well, who are learning Dhamma with you, who are practicing the spiritual path with you. You are getting angry with them also, and even becoming upset with others, making a noise. Sometimes when something is happen outside, when someone is talking somewhat with a higher volume, then you will get upset, you will get angry and blame him. This is because of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So sometimes he thinks he should blame that person because he is like obstructing, he is bothering me, because it should not be done, because it is done by the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Because you got upset because of that higher volume or the noise which is made by someone else, someone colleague or someone closest relative by you, of you, then it is made by him, but you get the angry feeling towards that noise, and you did something bad, you did something wrong to that person. You might have hit that person, you might have blamed that person, or you might have uttered some bad words, harsh words towards that person. All these things were happened because of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So this is with this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, you cannot expect to develop your concentration to a higher level, and you cannot do the vipassana meditation as well. Then we go to the simile with regards to the Byāpāda or the metaphor. This is the Pali sentence or the Pali extraction, which is from the commentary, and we will go to explain this simile or the metaphor in English with the translation. The metaphor is, if a man suffering from a bile disorder means, we call in a Pali pitta. Pitta means there is an organ called the pittasa. Then we have the bile disorder. Bile is that very essential thing for the digesting process. That is a very essential thing. But when you have that disorder in that organ, particular organ, that bile is too much. When you have bile disorder, you cannot feel that real taste of the food. Always you feel that bitter feeling. Whatever, even it is ice cream or sweets or anything, sugar or anything, when you take into your mouth, you will feel it as a bitter thing, even though it is sweet. That is a bile disorder. If a man is suffering from a bile disorder, were to receive even honey and sugar, he will not enjoy its taste because of his bile disorder. He cannot feel that pleasant feeling of that sugar or honey or some sweet. He would simply vomit it. He doesn't like to have that sugar, sweet or honey because he is having that bitter feeling. He vomit it and complaining, it's bitter. Likewise, because of that bile disorder. But it is the disorder of himself, not the bad condition of the food. Food is very tasty. The sugar, honey or the some sweets, some very tasty foods, that is not a problem with the food. Food is very good. The person who is not having the bile disorder will enjoy that food very well. He will get the real tasty feeling from that food. But the person who is having that bile disorder cannot enjoy that food because always he is getting that bitter feeling from any of the food. Whatever the thing he put in his mouth, he will get the bitter feeling. He cannot enjoy, he cannot even eat, drink them. This is the bile disorder. This is a metaphor. In the same way, then how we connect this bile disorder person to the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa? In the same way, when one with an angry mind, when someone is having that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa or the angry feeling, hatred mind, he is admonished even slightly by his teacher. The teachers are giving admonishments, advices, how to do these things, how to learn these things, how to develop the meditation, how to behave as a good monk or a novice or a person. Then he is getting some advices from the teacher, or the preceptor, for his benefit. These are given by the teachers for his own benefit. If he follow these advices or the admonishment in a true way, in the correct way, he will be beneficial. He will get more benefits, and he will be an improved or the developed person in this spiritual path. But the wrong thing is, he is having a disease. What is the disease? He does not accept these advices from the teachers or the preceptors. He is not advising. He is not accepting these advices. Why? He is with the angry mind, hatred mind, with the Byāpāda or the ill will nīvaraṇa, ill will hindrance. So even though he is getting so many advices which are very valuable for his development, for his own benefit, but he will not accept. Why? He is having a disease. What is the disease? Angry or the hatred mind, saying words like, "You are harassing me too much. You are disturbing me. I don't like your advices. I don't want your advices." Because he is having that angry towards the teacher. So he is like he is giving up. He is rejecting these advices which are very valuable for his own development, improvements, benefits. He would leave the order. He would go away and wander about. This is the nature of the angry person. When a person is having good, valuable, important advices or the admonishment from the teachers, from the preceptor, but because of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, because he is angry, because of any reason, but he is with the angry Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. He is not in the calm way, in his normal way. When he is in this angry mode, even though he gets something very pleasant, very pleasant thing, valuable things from the teachers, from the elders, he is not accepting because of the disease of this angriness. This is because of the disease of this hindrance or the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Likewise, when we think about the metaphor, just as the person with the bile disorder does not enjoy the taste of honey and sugar or the sweet or whatever the pleasant food, he couldn't enjoy that food because of the bile disorder disease. That is a sickness. Sickness is not related with the food. Food is very okay. It is very pleasant. It has a very pleasant taste. Even anyone can enjoy that pleasant feeling who is not sick. But this person has some disorder. That thing or the defect is with himself. What is the defect? The bile disorder. Because of that, he cannot enjoy those pleasant foods. Likewise, even so, one who has the disease of anger, we can equal as the disease or the sickness. When someone is having that angry disease or the disease of sickness of anger, will not enjoy the taste of the Buddha's teaching, consisting in the joy of meditative jhanas. In this way, ill will is like the illness or the sickness. Ill will like a bile disorder, because there is nothing, there is no any problem with the food. Food is okay. Anyone can enjoy that food who knows the valuable of or pleasant feeling of that food. But he is having a disease, he cannot enjoy that food. The problem is with himself, because he is having the disorder. If he do some treatments and he will cure that bile disorder, then his defect is finished. His sickness is not there anymore. He can enjoy that pleasant food as he wants in his natural way. Likewise, when that person is having the bile disorder, if someone having the sickness of the anger, he cannot enjoy the Buddha's teaching. Buddha's teaching is very valuable. There is nothing wrong in this Buddha's teaching. If someone is knowledgeable, if someone is effortful, if someone is wise, then they can get the true benefits of this Buddha's teaching. But someone is in the angry mode, someone is with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, he cannot enjoy the Buddha's teaching because he is a sick person. What is the sickness? The sickness of the anger. Because of the sickness of the anger, he cannot enjoy, he cannot achieve the achievements of the Buddha's teaching. That is like a sickness. If someone suppress this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa or completely eliminate this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then he is a recovered person. He doesn't have the sickness of anger anymore. Now he can enjoy the Buddha's teaching in the wise way, in the effortful way, and he will enjoy the results of this spiritual path. That is the metaphor which is given for the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. As time passes, he recovers from the sickness. This is the bile disorder. So he recovers from the sickness, the bile disorder. Now he can enjoy. He enjoys his meals, and there is strength in his body. He can enjoy the food. He can take much food and develop the strength or the of his body. The thought would occur to him, before I was sick, I was having the bile disorder. Now I have recovered from that sickness. Now I have cured that bile disorder disease. I enjoy my meals and there is strength in my body. Because of he would experience joy and happiness. Likewise, when someone suppress or eliminate this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, he will think, earlier I was suffering from the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa like a disease within me. I was having that sickness of anger. I couldn't enjoy the Buddha's teaching. I couldn't enjoy the concentration, feelings. I couldn't enjoy the insight knowledges. I couldn't enjoy the Buddha's admonishments. So I was suffering from the anger. I was suffering from the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Now I have suppressed it. I have eliminated it. So now I can enjoy the Buddha's teaching. I can develop the concentration. I can enjoy the feeling of that concentration. I can develop the feeling of that insight knowledges. I can enjoy the Buddha's admonishment. Now he is having the joy and the happiness. He will be a stronger person in this spiritual path. That is a metaphor which is given when he is having the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. It is like a person with the bile disorder. When he suppresses or eliminates this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, is a person like who recovered from the bile disorder. Then we are going to the fifth one. How we should identify Byāpāda. This is what is given in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. So I am given the Pali text and the meanings. How we should identify this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa when it emerged within ourselves. There are few steps. When there is ill will in him, he understands there is ill will in me. When you are with the ill will, when you are with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, when you are with the angry, you have to identify. You have to realize that I am with the angry. I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is why we learn these things. When you know the behavior of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then when you experience the behavior of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then you realize, oh, I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. The Byāpāda nīvaraṇa emerged within myself. So I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. It is in my mind. When there is no ill will in him, he understands there is no ill will in me. Now he knows about the behavior of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Now he can realize, he can identify. Whenever the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa comes to the mind, he can identify. Now he identifies, there is no that kind of a behavior in my mind. That means there is no Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in my mind. So he will have the joy and happiness. But in order to do that, he has to identify whether he is with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa or not. That is the first stage. Then he understands the arising of the unrisen ill will. Earlier he didn't have the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa or the ill will or the hatred mind. Now, because of any reason, because of any cause, then the new Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa emerged in the mind. Then he identifies, he realizes, earlier I was not with the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, but now newly the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa emerged within myself, in my mind. Now he knows, he identifies the new Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa arose in my mind. It emerged in my mind. Then he understands the letting go of arisen ill will. When the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa emerged in the mind, then he realizing this Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and with the time it will decay and it will vanishes. At that moment he will realize, okay, now in my mind there is no behavior of the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. I cannot identify there is any Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa in my mind. Then he realized it has gone away. It vanished. There is no ill will anymore in my mind. That is the next step. He understands the further non-arising of the ill will that he has given up. When the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa is suppressed or eliminated completely, and it will not come up, it will not emerge in future, then he will realize the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa will not emerge in my mind in future. That is done by the noble paths. But after achieving the noble path, by the Paccavekkhana jnana, he realizes, I have eliminated this Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, and at the same time I will not have this Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa anymore in the future. I have completely eradicated with the latent tendencies of this Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is the last stage or the step. How you have to realize, how you have to identify the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa or the hatred mind or the ill will hindrance. The hindrances exist in everyone. This is the normal or the natural behavior. Their presence is not a personal failing. If you are experiencing Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, you should not think it's a failure. It's a natural or normal thing unless you have not eliminated the latent tendencies, because the patigānusaya, latent tendencies is there, then you are with the potential, you are with the ability to have the emerging new Vyāpāda nīvaraṇas in your mind. It is not a failure. With the objects you are dealing with, and based on the attention with the wisdom or the not with the wisdom, then they will decide the emerging state of the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. But it's natural, it's normal. Time to time it will emerge and it vanishes. But you should not think about failure. If you think about in that way, sometimes Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa will arise, then it will grow up. It will come to a powerful stage because of the unwise attention. So you should not think about this as a failure. It is useful, see their occurrences as an important opportunity to investigate them. When you have, so we have discussed how you should realize when you have the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, or when you suppressed, eliminated these Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa, how you should get to know about these things, how you should realize, how you should deal with this Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. So likewise, this is a chance to actually realize or observe the behavior of the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. So this is a chance, opportunity to observe the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa's behavior. So you should not think about this as a failure, but you should think this as an opportunity to observe the true nature, true behavior of the Vyāpāda nīvaraṇa. How the angry works in my mind when the angry comes to the emerging state. Sometimes, if you are not paying the attention to this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, it will take you to do something bad by your action, by your body, or by your speech, or by your mind as well. So, if you are paying wise attention to this behavior of the angry, or this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, it cannot grow. Let's take enemy is coming to a group of people, like having some these people cannot identify because he is having some different clothes, or he is having some other things not to identify as an enemy. The group of people cannot identify this person as an enemy because they didn't understand, they didn't identify this as an enemy. That enemy can be with that group of people and do something bad to the group. If those group of people realize this, identify this as an enemy, then that enemy cannot be there anymore. He will run away. He will not try to do something bad, be with the group of people. Likewise, this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa is like an enemy. He is doing bad things to our mind, and he will take us to do something bad from our body, from our word or the speech or the mind. When you have that wise attention towards the mind to identify this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, when it is emerged, then you know how it behaves in your mind. It is an opportunity to identify or observe the behavior of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then you realize the true nature of that one, and the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa cannot do harmful things in your mind, and it will decay with the time and it vanishes. That is a chance to like just realizing or just identifying is a very good state, because if you are with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, you should identify that. You should realize that I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa cannot develop, cannot grow within your mind. If you are not paying attention to that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, it will, with the time, it will grow and it will do many harmful things to your mind. Sometimes you will tend to do some dasa akusala, the unwholesome deeds by your body, speech or the mind. But if you are paying wise attention to the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa you can observe the behavior, and as well you can make it decayed, make it vanished from your mind. Be like when you realize, when you identify an enemy in your vicinity, the enemy will go away, because the enemy will not be there, because he get to know that he was realized by you. Likewise, Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will come to like very weak condition, and with the time it will decay when you are paying wise attention to the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Okay, I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in my mind, so I am with the this hindrance or the hatred mind. Then it will decay and it will vanishes. Sometimes it is wise not to attempt too quickly get rid of a hindrance, but to use it as a chance to learn something. The stronger the hindrance, the more important it is to investigate it. In the Satipatthana Sutta, it is saying the pajanati. This is we have discussed. He will realize, he understands. In Satipatthana Sutta, in the Nīvaraṇa Pabbha, when you have Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, here it is not advised to do anything quickly, but you have to identify. You have to pay your wise attention towards that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You have to realize, I am with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Oh, I am not with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. A new Byāpāda nīvaraṇa arises, and my existing Byāpāda nīvaraṇa vanishes. So, likewise, you have to pay the attention. You are just aware about the nīvaraṇa. So, that is the thing. This Satipatthana Sutta giving the admonishment. You should not do something quickly. You should not to be upset with that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You should not do something like you are get more angry feelings when you are get upset about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then you are inviting the other hindrances to emerge within your mind if you are get upset. Sometimes you will get upset about the practice. You will get some bad feelings about the teachers, colleagues, the weather, the conditions, the foods you are getting. These things because you are paying unwise attention to the this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, rising of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa is the normal thing. It will automatically happen with the external conditions. But when you have that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, you have to pay attention wisely. And it is the thing Buddha admonished in this Mahasatipatthana Sutta to do when someone is having the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is the only thing what we have to do when you are with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. When you have the angry feeling, when you have the hatred feeling, you have to do the realizing part, not the acting part. The acting is the realizing. You should not do something like too quickly. You should not get upset. You should not think as a failure, like a loser. You should not think like that. You should think, you should realize the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, that is enough. You are paying attention. You are aware of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa within your mind. Then it is enough to get rid of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So then we are going to talk about how we can suppress Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, steps for that. There are the freedom of mind, because this is the translation of the previous Pali text. Then the freedom of mind through loving kindness, because atti bhikkave metta ceto vimutti. My dear disciples, there is a very powerful cause to suppress this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That is called the metta ceto vimukti, and paying wise attention to that. There is the freedom of mind through the loving kindness. We call the metta ceto vimukti. Freedom of mind through the loving kindness. This is called the metta ceto vimukti, is the metta jhana. The absorption levels or the jhanas you have gained by developing the metta object. By developing the loving kindness, you can achieve the jhanas. You can achieve the absorption concentrations. This is called the metta ceto vimukti. If someone is paying attention wisely to this metta ceto vimukti, the jhanas of the loving kindness, how we can paying wise attention to this metta ceto vimukti? You realize, you contemplate about the benefits. We call the mettanisansa. Mettanisansa means the benefits of the loving kindness. If you are having in the Mettanisansa Sutta, 11 benefits are stated or listed when someone is having the absorption levels of the metta. When someone is having the metta jhana, he is experiencing these 11 benefits of the loving kindness. So you have to contemplate, you have to recall, you have to think wisely about these benefits of the metta jhana. That is called the wise attention to metta ceto vimukti. Through giving frequently wise attention to the freedom of mind through the loving kindness. That means you are paying attention, you are contemplating about the metta ceto vimukti with the wisdom. Unarisen ill will does not arise. This you are not with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. When you are paying attention about the benefits of the loving kindness jhana or the metta jhana, then these unarisen or the unrisen ill will not come to the emerging state. They will be there as the latent tendency. We have not eradicated the latent tendencies. It should be done by the vipassana, by the noble paths. But here we are suppressing. Still we are with the latent tendencies of patighanusaya. But the problem is that latent tendency will come to the emerging state of our mind. We will having the angry, we will having the hatred mind, we will having the ill will. This is the problem we are experiencing, not the latent tendencies. The root cause is the latent tendency, but in this condition we cannot do anything about the latent tendency. It can be done by developing the vipassana, and by having the by experiencing the noble paths, we can completely eradicate these latent tendencies as well. But until that, we have to suppress this. We have to refrain from these latent tendencies, come to the emerging state. So when someone is paying attention wisely, when someone is contemplating about the metta ceto vimukti, or the metta jhana, or the benefits of the metta jhana with the wisdom, then unrisen Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not come to the emerging state. Then if you are with the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, they are also come to the vanishing stage. You can have the ability to suppress them, eliminate them, not completely, but to a longer period. That is the main cause to eliminate or the suppress of this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. What is the main cause? You have to pay the wise attention towards the benefits of the metta ceto vimukti. You have to think about the benefits. When someone is having the metta jhana, what are the benefits he will experience? Then your mind tends to do something towards the loving kindness. You try to develop the loving kindness every time, all the time. Then the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not have a chance to come to the emerging state in our mind. That is the main thing what we can follow to suppress this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then we have 6 things. So as a behavior, we can develop these 6 things. 6 things are conducive to the abandonment of ill will. That means in order to suppress or eradicate this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then you have to follow, you have to practice these things as a habit. Because earlier in the Satipatthāna Sutta, we said you should not act too quickly when you have Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. These 6 things are because you, as a habit, if you are practicing these things, there should not be a suitable area, suitable environment to emerge these Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. But when you have the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in your mind, you just have to realize that. You have to pay the attention wisely to that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You have to make you aware about that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then it will decay. You cannot do these 6 things when you have the angry in your mind. These 6 things are the habits you have to develop as a practice within you. Then the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not have a suitable environment to emerge as the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. There is 2 ways. When you have Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in your mind, you have to act like you have to aware about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. You have to realize, you have to identify, you have to pay the wise attention towards the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then it will decay. When you have the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, in the day-to-day life, you have to practice these 6 things. These are 2 methods. These 6 things, if you are practicing these 6 things as a habit, day-to-day life, then these Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not have a chance to come into the emerging state. What are those 6 things? Let's go one by one. What is this? The first thing is metta nimittassa uggaho. When you do the loving kindness meditation, you have to learn about that thing. How to do the loving kindness, how to spread the loving kindness. Then that is called the metta nimittassa uggaho. When you are learning about how to develop the tranquility using the loving kindness object, meditative object, then when someone is learning about the meditative process, meditative steps, then this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not have chance to come to the emerging state. Then the next step is metta bhavanānu yogo. That means not only the learning is a different thing. Learning about the loving kindness meditation is a different thing. But practically you attempt to develop the loving kindness within yourself is the metta bhavananu yoga. When someone is developing the loving kindness meditation, then the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not have a chance to emerge within our mind. Third one is kamma sakata. We have to contemplate about this kamma. We all have these results, bad things or good things, based on the kamma. I'm getting bad experiences because of my kamma. Someone else is having good experiences because of his kamma. He has done something good, he is experiencing good. I have done something bad and I'm experiencing bad. Likewise, we are getting the results because based on the kamma what we have done. We are not getting the results by the others' kammas. We are getting the results by our own kamma. That is called the kamma sakata. When you are contemplating about that kamma, the true nature of the kamma and vipaka, the actions and the results, when you have that kamma sakata jnana or the kamma sakata wisdom, then when you are contemplating wisely, because I am experiencing these things good or bad, this is based on my own previous kammas, what I have done in this life previously or in the previous lives. So then the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not arise, because there is nothing to get angry, because this I am experiencing bad because not of the wrong behavior of the others, wrong behavior of something. I'm experiencing this bad situation because of my own vipaka, of my own kamma. Then he can refrain from the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not come to the emerging state. That is another step. Then the patisankhāna bahulata. That is means that paying wise attention every time. Patisankhāna means the knowledge, the wisdom. When you are mainly in many times you are in each and every time you are working, you are acting with the wisdom. You are paying attention. Whatever you do, wherever you go, whatever you are experiencing, you are paying attention wisely. This is good or bad. This is good. This will create good results for me. Will this create bad results for me or the others? So then you are paying wise attention to these surrounding and the environment and to your experiences and your acts by what you are doing by your body, word or the mind. Then you can suppress your Byāpāda nīvaraṇa for a longer period if you are developing or following this thing as a habit, as a practice. Fifth one is kalyāna mittata. Kalyāna mittata means noble spiritual friendship. When you are associating good friends, we call the kalyāna mitta or the sappurisa. When you are associating good friends who are helping to eliminate the Byāpāda, if you are associating friends, bad friends, who are helping to develop the anger within yourself, you have to refrain from them. You have to avoid them. And you have to associate good friends, noble friends who are helping to eliminate the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, who is giving advices, admonishment to you how to develop loving kindness, how to do the meditation, how to do the vipassana, how to practice yourself as a good person. Then this associating good, noble spiritual friends also a fact or the step to develop, to eliminate or to suppress this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Sappāya kata. When you are always engaging with some nonsenses, when you are speaking something which is a help or a favor for a Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, then you have to refrain from those kind of asappāya kata, the bad speeches, bad conversation. You have to eliminate, suppress, or you have to refrain from those. You have to control your word. You have to give up those speeches or the conversation, and you have to engage with good conversation, which helps to develop the loving kindness within you, which will help, which will give you some advices, admonishment towards the practice. or towards the loving kindness meditation. These kind of good conversation, conducive conversations, you have to associate. You have to engage with these kind of good or sappaya kata, conducive conversation. This is also a step you have to follow. You have to practice as a habit in your day-to-day life. Then, when attaining absorption concentration, jhana, that's the jhana samadhi. Among the 5 jhana factors, zest, which is called the piti, suppresses the ill will. Because earlier we have talked about the kama chanda, sensual desire. What is suppress the kama chanda? It is done by the ekaggata jhananga. It is done by this one-pointedness mental factor or the jhana factor. This ekaggata suppresses the kama chanda or the sensual desire. Likewise, in this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, the mental factor of piti or the zest or the rapture, this we can call the jhana factor or the mental factor. This is suppressing the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So when you develop the piti within yourself, the Byāpāda vanishes. This is the way how you develop the jhana, and by like suppressing or eliminating these 5 hindrances. Each and every hindrance is eliminated or suppressed by the specific jhananga. For Byāpāda, that is piti or the zest or the rapture. Zest suppresses ill will. And when ill will is completely eliminated, it is done by the one noble path which is called the anagami magga. We know kamaraga and patigha. These 2 sanyojanas are eliminated completely by the anagami magga. We call the path of the non-returning. Path of the non-returning. That is the time, that is the occasion you can eliminate it. You can eliminate completely this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa from your mind. It will never come to the emerging state because you have completely eradicated, eliminated the latent tendency we call the patighanusaya. Without having the patighanusaya, the latent tendency, that patigha or the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa will not come to the emerging state because you have that potency to have that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, because you have completely eradicated by the path of non-returning or the path of anagami or the anagami magga, this kama chanda, this Byāpāda or the ill will hindrance or the hatred mind is completely eradicated with the latent tendencies. Then, how the relief from the Byāpāda helps concentration? We have discussed about this thing in the previous sermon also. When you have eliminated the kama chanda nīvaraṇa, we discussed how it helps to develop the concentration. Likewise, the same way, when these 5 hindrances, because you are eliminating the 5 hindrances by the 5 jhananga at once, because you are doing something, various things to eliminate that specific hindrances, but you eliminate these hindrances or suppress these hindrances at once by each and every jhananga or the jhana factors. When you suppress, when these 5 hindrances are suppressed, and when someone contemplates his mind, the joy, the pamojja, the early stage of the piti, we call the young piti, the joy or the pamojja arises. When someone is experiencing the joy, when the joy is there in his mind, then the rapture or the piti or the zest arises. When someone is experiencing the piti, when someone is having piti or the rapture or the zest in his mind, then the serenity is there. Serenity will arise in his mind. We call the passaddhi in his body, because he can feel very comfortable feeling in his body. He is having very convenient body because of this passaddhi. The cause was the rapture or the zest. Because of the zest, the serenity or the passaddhi arises in his body. When he is experiencing that passaddhi or the serenity in his body, then the pleasure, the sukha arises in his body. We call the pleasure, the sukha. That is a feeling. Sukha feeling he is experiencing in his body. Now his mind is very calm. He is having the pāmojja and pīti, and his body he is experiencing the serenity, passaddhi, and the sukha or the pleasure. Then when the pleasure is there and mind tends to concentration, when you are paying attention to a meditative object, you can easily concentrate, you can easily focus the mind towards that meditative object. So this is how, when you suppress this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa along with the other hindrances, then first is the pāmojja arises, then the pīti, zest arises, then the passaddhi arises in your body, we call the serenity, and then because of that the pleasure arises in your body, we call the sukha. When you have the sukha and all the other causes, then the mind tends to concentrated. Because your mind can focus very easily the meditative objects. Then you can easily develop the tranquility and have the upachara samadhi, we call the excess concentration levels, and the absorption concentration level, we call the jhana or the appana samadhi. This is how we can achieve the higher levels of the concentration by suppressing or the eliminating these nīvaraṇas. So today we have learned about some facts, some aspects about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. What is Byāpāda nīvaraṇa? What is we can go to the topics what we have discussed. We have learned about what is ill will, what are the definitions given in the Dhamma, in the Tripitaka or the commentaries about this Byāpāda, how we can realize, how we can identify this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa according to Dhamma, and the behavior when it comes to the emerging state in our mind, how this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa or the anger behave, how it act in our mind, what are the effects I will experience when I have that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, and what are the causes to arise this Byāpāda, what are the very closest causes, and what are the other causes to arise this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in our mind. And the simile or the metaphor with regards to the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa, we talked when someone is having the bile disorder, when someone is having that sickness, it is someone like having the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. That person cannot enjoy the food, the sickness of anger cannot enjoy the Buddha's teaching and the higher results in this spiritual practice. And then we talked about how we should identify Byāpāda, and when we have that Byāpāda nīvaraṇa in the emerging state, how we should act, how we should think, how we should realize or identify this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. Then we talked about how we can suppress Byāpāda nīvaraṇa and what are the steps what we can follow. We call that metta nimittassa yoniso manasikāra. That means when you are thinking about, when you are contemplating wisely with the wisdom about the benefits of the metta ceto vimukti, then about the metta jhana, the jhana which is taken, which is given by the loving kindness meditation. When you are learning, when you are thinking, contemplating about the benefits, then you can suppress these things. And we explain the other 6 things you have to develop as habits in your day-to-day life. How you should practice yourself in order to suppress, in order to refrain from this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. And finally, we talked about how the relief, how the suppressing of the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa helps concentration. So this is the today's Dhamma talk. With this summary, I am going to conclude today's Dhamma sermon. So I think you have got very detailed explanations about this Byāpāda nīvaraṇa and how it arises and how you can vanish those Byāpāda nīvaraṇas, and what are the things we have to follow in order to refrain from the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So I think it would be a very good Dhamma sermon to identify, to have a good knowledge about the Byāpāda nīvaraṇa. So we can talk about the other nīvaraṇas as well. So I'm going to finish the Dhamma talk. We are going to conclude the Dhamma sermon today. We have accumulated so many merits during this Dhamma sermon. I have preached Dhamma, Dhamma Desana, and you have listened to Dhamma, Dhamma Savana, and we are like paying wise attention to the Dhamma facts, which is called the Yoniso Manasikara. So all these wholesome deeds, all these meritorious deeds, we should transfer to our parents, to our teachers who have taught us Dhamma. May they receive these meritorious things, meritorious deeds, and may they have the capacity to achieve their wished paths and the Nibbana. And we also have to transfer these merits to the relatives who have passed away, and all the Devas, Brahmas. May all these receive these merits, and may they have desirable results, and may they have the capacity or the potency to achieve their wished noble paths and fruitions, and to achieve the ultimate liberation. And I also wanted to wish you all, because of these great merits you have accumulated during this Dhamma sermon, listening to the Dhamma, may this will be a great cause to have desirable results, good physical and mental health in this life, and desirable results in this life, and may you have very good lives in future as well, until you achieve the ultimate Nibbana. And this will be a great, powerful cause to achieve your wished paths, noble paths, and the fruitions, and ultimately the liberation, the Nibbana, as your wish. So may you all have the blessings of the Triple Gems.